So here I am in St. Petersburg, Russia. Video games, Russia, there is something of a relation, but it's not the most obvious one, with the exception of one game. That game is Tetris, one of the most important games that ever got created. And it came out of Russia in 1984. That's at the height of the Cold War, when relations between the US and Russia weren't exactly what you would call good. I had the wonderful opportunity of judging here at the Imagine Cup with the creator of Tetris, and then I got some time to sit down and hear more about the story. One of the great pleasures about being out here in Russia for Imagine Cup is the opportunity to meet a man who affected my life quite greatly, Alexei Pajitnov, the creator of Tetris. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me here.
So I kind of want to get a sense of the story and sort of your take on it. 1984, Tetris comes out in Russia, which is then this part of the Soviet Union. What was just the process of you developing that game? There was not a game industry in Russia at that time.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't a game industry at all, and nobody produced or developed any game on purpose. So, so basically, I did it on my spare time, and I was just a programmer in Computer Center of Academy of Science, and well, I have some excuse because we had a lot of hardware and we need to check it somehow. So small program is a very good thing to check the hardware. So I wrote several small games, and Tetris was just one of them.
So did you even expect other people to play it, or is it just, it was in your mind, you were just doing something to test out the hardware you had?
To be frank, yes. I really enjoyed the game when I coded and prototype, and I was desperate to start to play myself, but yes, I did suppose that somebody will put the hand on it too.
Now, what was your awareness of the game industry in America and Western Europe at that time? There was Atari, there just had been Atari.
We knew about the computers. We've heard even about the video consoles, very first one, and we definitely saw the game on first PC arriving to the country. So I played Qbert, I played Pac-Man. I really enjoy Load Runner. That was my favorite game that time. A little bit later, by the way. Yeah. But anyway, so we had some idea about the games and how it works and how enjoyable they are. And my feeling about Tetris was that it's a good game. I could compare it with Pac-Man and other stuff. And I realized that it's not worse. I didn't expect it to be that.
Now, you first released it in Russia. I mean, how was that distributed? Obviously.
Yeah, so the only way of the software distribution that time was just unauthorized copying. So whatever software was created, it's immediately kind of spread to everybody who needs it. And well, when you say release, it's just give the floppy disk to your friend. That's it. That's all you need to do.
I mean, how many computers were there in Russia at the time? And did anyone have it in their home?
No, little bit later, but that time no. They were awfully expensive. They were kind of the most fashionable car price, something like that. So it's hard to say how much were they, because it was very dynamic. The first come, but right away the next big portion comes, so people realize that it's extremely profitable to trade the software, the hardware and software as well. So basically it increased rapidly. It changed in 10 times during the year or something.
So 1986, I believe, it starts to emerge, it starts to move westward and find its way to America. What was that process like for you, and were you aware of how popular it was suddenly becoming in the United States?
Well, not really. It happens, yeah, it happens a little bit later, but First, an authorized copy came there, and we got some small feedback on that. But the first time the game was published on PC in '87, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, and then well. We see the magazines with the advertisement. We've heard about some rewards on some kind of small contests, but I didn't have clear impression that this is a kind of hit or something like that.
Well, and then comes 1989, and someone's coming, from the United States here to get licensing for the Nintendo Game Boy. And at that point, were you aware that this was about to become a very, very big deal?
Yeah, at that time we realized because we were shown lots of rewards and lots of buzz and lots of advertisements. So we realized that that's the game. That's something stable on the market already, and we really looked forward to the other platforms because original deal for PC we didn't like too much. So it was very first time we get a negotiation, and we didn't do it very well, and we expect to compensate ourselves on handhelds and video games as well, and arcade machines. So all the platforms.
So what is it in your mind? I have my theories, but I would love to hear it from you. Why that game works so well with so many people. There are people who love Tetris that would never call themselves a gamer.
Yeah. Well, there is no one reason for that, but usually people notice several pretty important reasons. One of them, the game is simple. You don't need to be hardcore player to start and keep going with it. So, and this is important. That's why, and people feel it and don't scare to try, and that's very important factor. The other one is that well, it's kind of peaceful game with the abstract content. During my later professional career, I realized that whatever kind of thick character or environment you decorate your game, it will be X amount, 20% of people who just love your game. But it will be 25% of the people who will hate your game because of this style, because they just don't accept the style. With abstract content, there is nobody who fall in love with it. But nobody hates it. That's why it has a really broad appeal, and that's also very important for Tetris to get in its position.
Now, obviously, Tetris is also it's on a lot of mobile devices now. We're in this new world of phones and tablets and everything like that. Been very successful, and I think with that in mind, Tetris really was the first kind of mobile casual game, something with that broad appeal. I mean, do you sort of look at what's happening on phones and tablets now, and you think to yourself, that's because of me. I started all of this.
Oh yeah, yeah. My first shock was in Kyoto in '90 when I saw kind of all the shipment for Game Boy. Well, we say 100,000, couple 100,000, but when you actually see those 100,000 by your eyes, that make you proud, you know.
Well, you made me very happy. Many people very dependent upon your work. Alexei, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Adam.